Better fix your screen. Keep that boy tuned in to Crypto Kings. Time to live those dreams. Everybody tuned in to Crypto Kings. Let's go. Yeah. Get your coin game up. Man, get your coin game up. I want the money, baby, not fame. Hey, yo, Frost, what's good on the blockchain?
Okay, we back at it. Your boy Jack Frost in the building, man. I got another guest for you. You know, super, man. We about to go in. I got my boy Eric Patrick Thomas. We about to go all the way in on some new information y'all probably ain't heard of yet. So, what's going on, Eric, man?
What's happening, man? I'm over here bowing my head to your intro.
That was Joey Koff. Right there.
I recognized it. Nice intro, too. Nice intro. I was like, shoot.
I appreciate that, man. So, first of all, what I want to do is I want you to just run down your history, what you got going on and everything that you're doing, and then we're going to get into some interview type stuff. So go ahead and tell them what you're doing and what you got going on.
You said what I got going on right now. Ooh.
Yeah, I know you got a lot.
I got my business going on right now, EC Awareness by Design. And we have a brand called Inspire. Right now we have the Inspire just started to get sold in the Detroit airport at the Economist store. So we're real happy about that. We just actually put out our second purchase order today. So we must be selling. So that's great. Let's see here, advocating always for people with disabilities, whether it's for accessibilities or the quality of life. The other thing is I'm an ambassador for a D-Man Foundation, which stands for Danny's Miracle Angel Network. They focus on music therapy. So it's kind of like physical therapy, but it's music therapy for people with disabilities using their ability. So they could go in and record music using their breath, their eyes, their mouth, whatever their ability is that they can figure out to produce and record music and perform. And you work with a licensed music therapist and you put together like clinical goals at the same time. Their other thing is assisted travel. We just had the Dream Cruise about a month ago, and this is our 9th time doing this event. And basically it's called Dreams Come True on Woodward. And people that use wheelchairs, they come out and they get transferred from their chair into a convertible car and then ride the Dream Cruise. And that was our 9th time doing that. So about a month ago, I did the Dream Cruise. So I was able to get out of my wheelchair and get into a convertible car and ride the strip. And then 2 weeks ago, we did another assisted travel with the helicopters, with Michigan helicopters. And it was a similar thing. You get transferred out of your wheelchair and then placed into the front passenger side of the helicopter out there with the pilot. So I got to fly in a helicopter for my first time a couple weeks ago. And then, what else I got? What else am I working on? I'm working on other stuff.
You're doing too much. That's what it is. But I wanted to back up because people don't know how I got involved with you, and I just want to backtrack. We've been boys forever. You know what I'm saying? We've been friends forever, and I was friends with you before you got put in a wheelchair, and I know about the whole thing, and that's why I can link up with you like I do. You know what I mean? But let's get. I don't even know if you want to go into the story of how you got in your situation. You used to be a rap artist. We had a rap group together.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
17 years later, I performed on stage after my injury. Yeah, I mean, you know me. I've been doing hip hop since 4th, 5th grade. So, and even back then when we met each other, we formed a group called Connections. I mean, music goes strong with our history, and entertainment venues, putting on shows. And then, not to mention, after coming home from rehab, after getting, after coming home from being shot, I started the radio station, and that's when you were at the other radio station, and I had that internet radio station with Live 365, street level .biz, the Miz Radio.
They don't know about it.
Was like, yeah, you should know about it. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it because we only got a little bit of time. We only got 30 minutes, but I want to get it all out, bro. Because we've been through a lot. And I want people to know it, and that's why I wanted to get you on the show, bro. Because you was out in Lansing, and I know you had got shot out there, and that's why you're in a wheelchair now. But you was doing so much stuff, bro. You was doing so much stuff. Wasn't you working with D12 or something like that back in the day? I don't even know.
No, when I was writing for the promoter newspaper, then we were, we did a lot of the stuff with like the whole Shady Records, coming to Detroit and stuff, especially then the Hip Hop Summit. It's everybody. When I started writing for the promoter newspaper, I was able to really connect with a lot of artists in Michigan. Which was great because it was like I was able to still stick with music after I came home from rehab. Because I tried the record label first. That didn't work out. And then when Alex found me with the promoter newspaper, I did that for 5 or 6 years. And then after that didn't work, after he was done with the paper for a while, that's what ended up pushing into the internet radio. So it seems like a lot of the stuff I've always done, it's always been involved with music, But and like you mentioned back in '97, our group Miscellaneous, we were having an album release party. It was a distribution deal. It was Acapella, Ryan, and Big Perm Cameron. And I went outside to check the parking lot, and that's when someone pulled the gun and opened fire, and I got the bullet right in my 3rd and 4th vertebrae. And at that time, I lost the ability of everything. I wasn't able to breathe on my own. I wasn't able to talk. I wasn't able to eat. And I wasn't able to move anything. They put 4 screws in my skull with a halo and put tubes down my throat. And then eventually they end up having to give you a tracheotomy. And I breathed with the machine for almost 5.5 months. And then finally got off the ventilator right before I came home. The new life started when I came home.
Yeah. So I'm glad we had, because like a lot of people don't know this story, man. And I'm glad to even talk about it. I know it's like a tragedy, but for the most part, like I'm glad to even put this story out. It's on cable. It's on cable, bro. Your whole story on cable right now. So, and then, and shout out to Big Perm. Rest in peace to Big Perm, man. That was a tragedy too. It's been a lot going on in the world, man. And we need to talk about it so we can get it on camera because I might pass away one day. I don't know. I need to get this stuff on camera, bro. You feel me? So
yeah, I mean that's why you gotta, live every day like like it's your last. You try to live it up to your potential. If you're not feeling well, just live it to your potential of what it is for that day. That way you don't have like self regrets or things like that. See, a lot of people live life and then they go, oh man, I should have done that today. The woulda, shoulda, coulda. But it's just, don't beat yourself up. Just get your goals together, have a target, have your goals, and focus on them. Focus on your life. Like, what do you want out of it? Don't do stuff that you don't want to do unless you have to for the smaller goal to fund the bigger goal. That's the stuff. The life is challenging. We know that for us. We know it. We've been through a lot. There's a lot of challenges, a lot of ups and downs, but you have to be consistent, be persistent, and be resistant, and keep pushing. Keep going for it. Live life.
But honestly, you know what? I'm gonna salute you though, bro, because you're the strongest person I ever met in my life. I mean, that's just what it is. No, you are. And I gotta salute you on that because you keep going and I don't even know how to express the words, you know what I mean? But you give me inspiration. And then just by you saying inspire with your shirt and your hat, because this is real life. This is real life. You're the strongest person I ever met in my life, bro. So we got to talk about it. And so let's talk about the Inspire camp. What you got going with that?
Right now with Inspire, like the latest thing was getting into the Detroit airport. The company's called Parodies, and they have a lot of stores in the U.S. and international. And I was able to collaborate, just meeting after meeting after meeting, just having my stuff together. You know, with my team here, we were able to put a catalog together of what we thought would be a good fit for the airports when we did Inspire Michigan and Inspire Detroit. And the one meeting only took 17 minutes. They said that was the corporate meeting. They said, we love your brand. You're a good fit for us. Your values are the same. Let's do it. You know, and there were things that I didn't know how to do, but I told them, just tell me what I got to do and we'll make it happen. And we did, because they just did their second purchase order, and their second purchase order was 5 times more than what they ordered the first time. So it's the doors open and goal achieved, that goal is achieved, but the bigger goal is all the airports, you know, in the U.S. and across the world. I mean, you could do destination anywhere, you know, inspire this city, inspire this, inspire. So that's the big part. We just upped our website. We changed all the we're offering free shipping for the rest of the year. We're going to see how that goes. So instead of us making like a big profit on one sale, we're going to see how we do with volume instead. So we're offering free shipping, something we've never done before. Yeah, I mean, that's where we're at with the Inspire stuff right now.
So it's a big deal actually to get in the airport. So you obviously got some big backers. I know some of it that you got going on, but I don't know, like, really, how did you get in the airports? How did that come across?
One of the people that one of our clients, she has been battling brain tumors for years. Her husband works at the Flint Bishop Airport. And one time, Damon John was doing an Instagram live, and he was talking about the future of retail, and he mentioned airport retail. And I was like, whoa, it just made a light go off. So I contacted her husband, and I said, how can I get Inspire in the Flint Airport? He said, let me make some calls, and he did. And then we had a meeting with the president of that airport and like the buyers of that airport. And then originally it was supposed to be Inspire Flint and Inspire, you know, regular shirt, the original, at the Bishop Airport. But then when corporate saw the catalog and they just loved it, and then I had a meeting with them, then when they made their purchase order, they decided to do Detroit, the Detroit market, which is way better. It's like one of the busiest stores in the country. And so that's it. It was just about having your homework done, just being prepared and being ready. You know, when it was time to be ready, I was ready. I wasn't slacking. I was prepared, and that's how it was. And it was just and following through with the meeting and being clear, like what you see. And if something didn't seem like you didn't want to go that route, then you just tell them. You be honest with them. Just be very direct. Like I said, the corporate meeting took 17 minutes. They already knew they had their decision about it before I ever had the meeting.
So, and then I'm a rewind a little bit too, because you're talking about Damon from Shark Tank.
Yes, sir.
And so now let's talk about that a little bit. You already plugged in. I know about the White House meetings and all that stuff, and I know you work with a lot of upper level people. That's the word I'm gonna use right now. I don't even know what to say right now. But so, my man from Shark Tank, what's his name? Damon, right?
Damon John. Yep, the founder and owner of FUBU, one of the owners of FUBU.
Founder and owner of FUBU. He I know he licensed out the brand and everything. Made much money and all that stuff. And how did that relationship come about?
When I started the business, Easy Awareness by Design, in the business plan, because I was going to do lifestyle branding with the clothing, with the clothing lines, I said in the business plan that I need to meet Damon John because that's what Fubu was a lifestyle brand. And then a year into the business, so I started uh, November 2011. November 2012, he just happened to be speaking in Flint at Mott College. And the people that were bringing him and were in charge of him speaking were the Coneys I already established a relationship with. And the president of Mott at that time, Mr. Shank, knew that I started the clothing business. So when he came there and then I went to watch him speak, they already had it set up. So when the speech was over, the curtain opened up, like the backdrop curtain. I saw the Mr. Coney point his finger at me. It was like, okay, basically it was like, it's time for you to, I'm going to open the door for you. It's time for you to do what you do, Eric. And that's basically, I had so much, so much time with Damon, and he just, like he said, I crashed, I used my chair to crash through everybody and been in his life ever since. And he just said, let's stay in touch. And, we've heard that from many, many, many artists or celebrities or whatever, on the shows that we've done. But he was true to it. He was true to his word. And we started following each other on Twitter. And then he started following my story and we started cross promoting. And then he started paying attention to the business. And then eventually his academy came to Michigan. And he texted me and told me, I should go check that out. So we did. My team went there. And then afterwards, that's where we learned how to do a Shopify page, because we had a website, but we didn't know how to make sales. We just had a website because everybody else has a website. And then a couple months later after that, he made a purchase, and then he wore the shirt on social media on a Friday the 13th, June 13th. And I remember because that's how we started Inspire Friday, because everybody was excited. He wrote, he said I was the brand of inspiration and just a lot of stuff, the way he's been paying attention to. And then a couple of years later after that, he contacts me and says, I saw you haven't had a vacation in a while since you've been shot. I want you to come out to LA to come out to Shark Tank and be my guest at Shark Tank. And I'll introduce you to everybody. And I want you at my Inc. magazine cover party, because he was on the cover of Inc. magazine. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'm down. I was like, I got to have caregivers to go with me. I got people. He said, I know. So I had my caregiver and my dad. And before you know it, 6 days later, we're getting on the plane at Delta, trying to figure it all out, because, there's no planes that are wheelchair accessible. And going from Detroit to LA. And then we land, and before you know it, we're at the Inc. magazine party, and then we're on the set of Shark Tank. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that too, because that's important. I never knew what you just said. So there's no airlines that's wheelchair accessible.
No.
So how did you figure that out?
I did research. I went on YouTube. I basically did my homework like any other thing, and I contacted Delta and talked to someone at the airport, also an advocate that I know. She's on the board of the travel. She takes care of accessibility for the Travel Association. So I asked her to help me coordinate, and basically that's what it was. It was just the relationships that I built. I connected dots from other relationships to new relationships. And then I was able to have a smooth transition. The way that they do it is, when you get to the airport, you check in all your luggage, and then you meet at the terminal before everybody else boards. And they got this dolly with a seat called the aisle chair. And then basically you got to get lifted out of your wheelchair and then put in this dolly aisle chair. And then they take your power wheelchair and put it into the, with everybody else's luggage in the bottom of the airplane. And then they take you from the aisle chair to the airplane seat. So I ride in the airplane seat like everybody else. There's no accessible section. I'm in first row bulkhead, which has the most leg room, which is the easiest to transfer to. And you have to have someone fly next to you too, for safety purposes, if there's a crash. You have to have someone that can help you escape or things like that. But yeah, and then when we got to LA, I had to get transferred from the airplane seat to the aisle chair, and the aisle chair back to the power chair. And a lot of times the chairs can get damaged too. So it was kind of like that, waiting to see when you got in your chair if it's going to work, if it's not going to work. And with my mechanics of my chair, I drive my chair with my breath. So it's a hard puff forward, hard sip backwards, soft puff right, soft sip left. You never know what could be damaged from the turbulence or from just the airplane ride itself. But everything worked. So it all worked out when we got to LA. We were 3 hours behind, but it worked out.
I'm just glad I'm glad you spoke on that, man. A lot of people don't even know about this stuff, man. So I'm glad you got to say something about this because I'm on airplane flights all the time or whatever, and I just wonder about this stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Say when we got to LAX, there wasn't any accessible transportation, no taxis. There was a bus that had the lift, but it only goes like a mile from the airport. All these vehicles were lined up. You saw headlights. Now this is like 11 o'clock at night LA time, but there's all these headlights lined up at LAX, and they got this guy, that's trafficking everybody. You go here, you go here. There's basically people fighting over people who's going to go in what cab. And I'm there. I'm like, where's mine? And they're like, oh no, we don't have that. Like, well, where's the taxi with the ramp? And so they didn't even have it. I contacted the hotel where we were staying at, Ace Hotel, and told them the situation. And the guy there at the desk, he contacted someone through the cab service, and the van that had the ramp, it was out, and it could be there like in an hour. So we just waited. And all this is on my YouTube channel too, because I had the GoPro on my hat, the bill of my hat. So I recorded everything. And so then, an hour later, this van pulls up and the guy's like, wheelchair. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And then roll up to the van. He opens the side door and I'm like, where's the ramp? He's like, hold on a minute. He pops the trunk open and pulls out a portable ramp. Now this guy pulls out a portable ramp for a van. And I'm like, where am I gonna go? Because all the seats were in there. The passenger seat was there. There was no tie downs. And I asked the guy, I'm like, where am I going to get tied down at? Where's the chair going to get tied down? He's like, no, just get in. So we get in. I don't know how I got in there. If you see the video, there's no tie down. So it's completely illegal. And then we had 8 bags because Damon wanted us to bring Inspire stuff for the set of Shark Tank and for the Ink magazine party. And we didn't have time to ship it. So we had 8 bags of Inspire stuff plus 2 people. So the van was just was dragging. When it was on the expressway, you could hear it just sparking. But yeah, there wasn't accessible taxi. There wasn't accessible plane. It's just these are the challenges that people face when it comes to trips and stuff. Is it possible to take a trip? It's very possible, but you're gonna have to prepare, and you're gonna have to know exactly what your coordinations are, and you kind of basically make a plan. That's just how it is. Same with the hotel. The bed wasn't off the ground. It was bolted to the ground. Well, there was no way to get the Hoyer lift under the bed, which lifts me up. It's like a sling that lifts me out of the chair and put me into the bed, because we rented one of those while we were in the city, but you couldn't get it. So they had to put the bed, unbolt it, and put the bed on blocks, on cinder blocks, so that we could get under the bed and stuff. So yeah.
Wow. That's all I can say. I've dealt with this stuff. My family's been doing this forever. I just wanted to hear it from you. You know what I'm saying? Like your perspective. But I've been, this is very important stuff that people need to hear, man. They need to hear it. No, it's actually because anybody could find themselves in a situation that is gonna just be detrimental today. I'm glad that you're here to say it. I'm glad that you're so strong as far as keep doing it. Like I said, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I could
So,
drop something for you right now. It's
go ahead.
legal. It's legal.
Mm-hmm.
Legal to pay a person with a disability sub minimum wages under minimum wage. 1932, the sub minimum wage act. So you could actually hire a person with a disability, and you can compare them to an able-bodied person and their work performance, and that they can file for this certificate. They can actually pay that person under minimum wage.
Yeah, I've seen that actually, because I take them. I used to take like my. I'm gonna rewind a little bit because I have a background in foster care, and I've took a lot of clients to workshops, and they don't pay them, what they like minimum wage.
Yeah.
So I've seen. So I know what you're saying is true. You see what I'm saying? Like they'll pay them $5 an hour or whatever,
Yeah.
to pack boxes or whatever. I've seen it, but it's sad. It's really sad, bro. And and some of the workers work harder than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because we're trying to, we're trying to be a part of society, and when society isn't they make a brand new building and they put stairs at the door, and then they make a door for you with a logo on it with a big wheelchair, basically saying, hey, you go through that door, everybody else goes to that one. Instead of why didn't you just make the door accessible for everybody, from the start?
Exactly.
Like, we don't need a special door. We just need a door that's, accessible for everyone. The same with sidewalks and curb cuts and, education and business, and people playing people with disabilities in movies. A lot of people will play the role of a person with a disability and get Academy Awards. But then there's people that actually have a disability that are taking acting classes that are really good, waiting for that opportunity. And they're like, oh, here's a movie where this person uses a wheelchair. I'm going out for that audition. Oh, they took a person that's not using a wheelchair. That's just a good actor. So it happens all the time. And people that are writing the disabled story are people that don't have disabilities. So you're getting like the wrong narrative in this country of what it really is like. A lot of times it's like old rich white people are with lots of money. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the truth. The reality is
I hate to cut you off. The show's about to end in 9 seconds, bro. I'm gonna have to follow up. We got so much information we gotta follow up, but the show is about to cut off right now.
Yeah.
So
we'll do part 2.
We gotta do part 2. I'm gonna get back with you. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. It's already probably shut off already. This is how this internet works. But I'm gonna get back with it. Yeah, it's already shut off. But I'm gonna get back with you, man. I'm glad you came on the show just to chop it up with you, man. So
yes, sir.
I'm gonna send you the link and everything. The show done shut down, but I'm gonna send you the link and you can download it, do whatever you want with the show, whatever you want to do with it, you can do it. So
awesome, man. That'd be great.
We'll
have to do another one.
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
have to do part 2.
We definitely have to do part 2. Definitely. But
you got another show coming up?
Yeah, I got another show coming on right now. I'm about to do it, and then I'm gonna hit you up after I leave the studio.
All right, cool.
Okay, I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, are you doing any drops?
As far as what?
You're listening to Crypto Kings.
Well, I just ran out of time, so I don't even have no time to do any drops.
Well, we'll do it another time.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it. For sure, bro. I'm finna start this next show coming up, and then like I said, I'm gonna hit you up when I leave the studio.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right, man. Yep. Peace.
Yep.
Wake up.